Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, replaying old mistakes like a broken record you just can't turn off? Wishing you had said something different, wishing you had made another choice, wondering if things would be better today if only you had known better back then. I used to carry a suitcase full of regrets everywhere I went. I wore them like a heavy coat, no matter the weather. Decisions from my youth. Words I wished I could take back. Opportunities I let slip by because I was too scared, too stubborn, or simply unaware of what I was missing. There was one regret in particular that haunted me for years. When I was younger, I had a falling out with a dear friend over something small, something silly in hindsight. We both let pride get the best of us, and we drifted apart. Life marched on, as it always does, but every so often I'd think about him and feel a pang of sadness. I wondered if he thought about me too, if he missed the easy laughter we used to share. For a long time, I told myself it was too late to fix it, that the past was a closed book and regrets were simply part of getting older. But carrying that weight didn't make me wiser. It made me tired. It made me bitter. One crisp autumn afternoon, while sitting alone on a park bench watching the leaves fall, I realized something. The trees weren't mourning the leaves they were letting go. They were making room for new life to bloom come spring. Maybe, just maybe, I could do the same. So I decided to let go of that regret, not by pretending it never happened, but by forgiving myself for being human, for making mistakes, for not always knowing better. I wrote a letter to my old friend. I never mailed it. He had long since moved away, and truth be told, I wasn't even sure where to send it. But the act of writing it, of putting my sorrow and apology on paper, felt like setting down a bag of stones I had been carrying for far too long. Letting go of regret isn't about erasing the past. It's about choosing not to let the past control your future. It's about giving yourself the same grace you would offer a loved one. It's about looking at the road behind you and saying, yes, there were wrong turns, but I still made it here, and I'm still going. If you're holding onto regrets, big ones, small ones, fresh ones, or old ones, I want to tell you something from the bottom of my heart. You are not alone. Every life is a patchwork of triumphs and mistakes stitched together by time and love. And here's the beautiful thing. Every morning you wake up, you are given a new chance, a new page to write, a new song to sing. Regrets have no power unless you give it to them. You can choose today to pack them up, thank them for the lessons they taught you, and send them on their way. Before we continue, if this message speaks to you, if you believe like I do that it's never too late to choose peace over pain, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to GlowingAge. Your support helps us share more stories, more wisdom, and more hope with good people like you. Now back to the heart of it. Letting go of regret isn't a one-time event. It's a practice. Some days the old sadness will try to creep back in. You'll hear a song, see a place, smell something in the air, and suddenly you're back there in that moment you wish you could change. When that happens, take a deep breath. Remind yourself that you are not that person anymore. You are the sum of everything you've survived, everything you've overcome, everything you've learned. Think of it like carrying a heavy sack over your shoulder. At first, you might not notice it. You're strong, you can manage. But as the years pile on, that sack gets heavier. It pulls on your back, it slows your steps, it clouds your joy. Now imagine setting it down, feeling your shoulders lift, breathing easier, smiling wider, walking taller. That's what letting go of regret feels like. It's not forgetting, it's freeing. And let me tell you, the world looks a whole lot brighter when you're not dragging yesterday behind you. The colors are sharper, the laughter is louder, the hugs last longer. I think about my old friends sometimes. And when I do, it's no longer with the sting of regret. It's with gratitude. Gratitude for the friendship we had. Gratitude for the lesson he taught me about pride and forgiveness. Gratitude for the chance to tell others what I learned too late. If you have regrets weighing you down, I invite you to write them down. Get them out of your heart and onto paper. Burn the letter if you need to, bury it, release it. Speak it aloud to the wind. Whatever it takes to loosen their grip on you. Because you, my friend, deserve to walk lightly through these precious years. You deserve mornings filled with hope, not heartache. Nights filled with peace, not restless memories. The past is a teacher, not a jailer. Take the lessons, leave the chains. And as you do, you'll find there's more room in your heart for joy, for love, for laughter, for new memories that don't weigh you down but lift you higher. Stay with me, we're just getting started on this journey of letting go. there's so much more lightness waiting for you ahead. Have you ever noticed how holding onto a grudge feels like carrying a hot coal, hoping the other person gets burned? But all it really does is burn your own hand. I learned that lesson the hard way. There was a time in my life when I carried grudges like medals on my chest. People who had wronged me, friends who had let me down, even family members who said things they couldn't take back. I held onto those hurts tight, thinking that somehow my anger was protecting me. What it really did was weigh me down. It took up space in my heart where peace could have lived. It replayed old hurts over and over, long after everyone else had forgotten. It made joyful days feel heavy and dark. I remember one holiday dinner many years ago. Everyone gathered around the table, the smell of roasted turkey in the air, laughter bubbling up from the kids. And there I was, sitting stiffly at the end of the table, arms crossed, nursing a grudge against my brother over something that had happened years before. Everyone else was living in the present, but I was stuck in the past, shackled to an old hurt that the other person barely even remembered. That night, driving home alone, it hit me. I wasn't punishing him by holding on to my anger. I was punishing myself. Forgiving someone doesn't mean you excuse what they did. It doesn't mean you forget. It means you refuse to let their actions control your happiness any longer. It means you put down the hot coal and stop burning your own hand. It took time. It took prayer. It took long walks where I spoke my hurt aloud to the sky, asking for the strength to finally let it go. And little by little, the bitterness loosened its grip. I realized that forgiveness wasn't a gift for the person who wronged me. It was a gift for myself. Letting go of grudges opened up space for love to flow back into my life, for laughter to come more easily, for trust to rebuild itself one careful step at a time. If you're holding on to old hurts, I want you to know it's okay to put them down now. You don't have to carry them any longer. They served their time. They taught you what they needed to teach. But now they're just extra weight slowing you down. Picture a big backpack filled with heavy rocks, each one labeled with a name or an event that hurt you. Every grudge is another stone. Now picture taking that backpack off. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel, how much farther you could walk, how much more you could breathe. Before we move forward, if this message is helping you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to GlowingAge. Your support allows us to keep sharing messages of hope, healing, and strength. Now back to our journey. Forgiveness doesn't always happen all at once. Sometimes it's like peeling an onion layer by layer. Each time you revisit the hurt, you let a little more of it go. Each time you choose peace over resentment, you heal a little more. You might think you're being strong by holding on to anger, but real strength is in letting it go. In saying, I will not let the past rob me of today. And when you forgive, it doesn't mean you have to reopen old doors. Some relationships can be repaired. Some are better left closed. Forgiveness is about freeing your own heart, not necessarily about restoring every connection. One day, I found myself laughing at an old joke my brother used to tell. It came back to me out of nowhere, and instead of feeling that old sting of hurt, I felt warmth. I realized then that I had truly let go. The grudge that once weighed me down had turned into a memory that could make me smile. That's the power of forgiveness. It transforms pain into wisdom. It turns heavy memories into light ones, and it's a gift you deserve to give yourself. Because the truth is, your heart has better things to carry. Love, joy, hope, dreams yet to be lived. Let's keep walking this path together, because next we'll uncover another weight that keeps too many of us from living freely and fully. It's something that often hides in plain sight, and learning to release it will change everything. Have you ever felt a chill of fear run through you at the thought of something new? Even something as simple as moving to a smaller home, trying a new hobby, or making a new friend. I know I have. For many years, I clung tightly to what was familiar. The same routines, the same neighborhood, the same chair at the dinner table. There was a comfort in the known, a safety in the patterns I had built. But slowly, without realizing it, those familiar things began to feel like walls instead of comfort. I remember when my daughter first suggested that I downsize. "Dad," she said gently, "this house is too much for you now." The very thought filled me with dread. Leave the place where every corner held memories. Say goodbye to the home where I raised my children, celebrated birthdays, and sat with my wife on quiet evenings. It felt like losing a part of myself. But beneath that fear was another truth I was reluctant to face. I was no longer thriving there. The stairs were getting harder. The rooms were mostly empty. The echoes of the past were louder than the life I was living. Change felt terrifying because it meant stepping into the unknown. It meant admitting that life moves forward even when our hearts want to hold it still. One night, sitting alone in the living room, I thought about the oak tree in the backyard. I planted it when my eldest son was born. Over the years, it had stretched, bent in storms, lost branches, and grown stronger. It didn't fight change, it welcomed it. And I realized that I needed to do the same. Change isn't the enemy. Fear is. Fear tells us that change means loss. But often, change is simply the doorway to new blessings, new friendships, new peace we could never have imagined if we stayed stuck where we were. If you're feeling the fear of change tugging at you, know that you're not alone. It's normal. It's human. But you don't have to let it rule you. Before we keep going, if this message touches your heart, please like this video and subscribe to GlowingAge. Every click of support helps us reach more wonderful souls like you who are walking this journey of growth and renewal. Now, back to the truth about change. Every stage of life asks something different of us. In youth, we're asked to be bold. In adulthood, to be responsible. In our later years, we are asked to be wise enough to let go of what no longer serves us and brave enough to embrace what will. The fear of change often comes from believing that the best parts of our life are behind us. But that simply isn't true. Some of the most beautiful, meaningful, and freeing moments are still ahead if we have the courage to move toward them. When I finally decided to move, it was hard. There were tears. There were moments of second-guessing. But today, in my smaller, sunnier home with a cozy porch and neighbors who wave when I walk by, I feel lighter. I feel freer. I feel alive. Trying new things, whether it's joining a book club, learning to paint, or traveling to a place you've never been, doesn't erase your history. It honors it. It says, I am still here. I am still living. Every time you push through fear and choose growth, you write a new chapter filled with color and life. Fear is a natural feeling, but it doesn't have to be the driver of your life. Courage doesn't mean you have no fear. It means you go forward despite it. Today, if there's something new tugging at your heart, a change you've been resisting, take a small step toward it. You don't have to leap, you just have to move. And as you do, you'll discover that change isn't an ending. It's a beginning. It's a sign that you are still reaching, still growing, still choosing life over fear. Let's keep moving together because next, we'll explore another invisible weight that many of us carry without realizing how much it holds us back. And learning to release, it will bring even more freedom and joy into your days. Have you ever felt like the walls around you were closing in, not because of the space itself, but because of everything packed inside it? I know the feeling well. There was a time when every surface in my house was covered with things. Trinkets from vacations, old letters, books I meant to read but never did, clothes I hadn't worn in years. At first, they all felt important, like pieces of my story. But over time, the weight of all that stuff began to pull at me. I remember standing in my living room one afternoon, looking around at the shelves and the boxes tucked in every corner. It was like the house was breathing heavier with me. I realized then that the clutter wasn't just physical, it was mental, it was emotional. Every item carried a memory, a what if, a maybe someday. And each one demanded space not just on my shelves, but in my mind. One day, a friend came to visit. She's the kind of person who travels light through life, always smiling, always ready for a new adventure. As she sat among my clutter, she looked around with kind eyes and said, "You know, sometimes holding on to too much of the past makes it harder to step into the future." That hit me right in the heart. I realized I had built a museum of my life, but I was so busy dusting the exhibits that I wasn't living in the present. So I made a decision, not to erase my past, but to honor it differently, to keep the treasures that truly sparked joy and let go of the rest. It wasn't easy. The first bag I filled felt like a betrayal. What if I needed these things someday? What if throwing them away meant forgetting? But then something amazing happened. The more I let go, the lighter I felt. I could breathe easier. The house felt bigger even though it was the same size, and it wasn't just the house. My mind felt clearer, my heart felt freer. I wasn't carrying the weight of someday anymore. I was living today. If you're feeling weighed down by clutter, whether it's physical clutter in your home or mental clutter in your heart, I want to invite you to start small. Pick one drawer, one shelf, one stack of papers. Ask yourself, does this add joy to my life today? Does it serve a purpose now? If the answer is no, it's okay to let it go. Before we continue, if you're finding strength in this message, please like this video and subscribe to GlowingAge. Your support helps us continue sharing stories and wisdom that uplift and inspire. Now, back to our journey. Decluttering isn't just about making space in your house. It's about making space in your soul. It's about freeing yourself from the constant reminder of unfinished business, unrealized dreams, and old versions of yourself that you've long since outgrown. It's about choosing to surround yourself with things that reflect who you are today, not who you were 20 years ago. And it's not just physical things. Sometimes we need to declutter our minds too, letting go of worries that no longer serve us, releasing old fears that have no place in our lives now. Every item you let go of, every thought you release is a way of saying, I am making room for something new, something better. These days, when I walk through my home, I feel peace. The few things I kept, family photos, a favorite chair, a quilt my mother made, bring me true joy. Everything else, it's been released with gratitude, and the space that's left, it's filled with laughter, light, and new memories being made every day. Stay with me, because next we'll talk about another invisible burden many of us carry, the weight of unrealistic expectations. Learning to release them will open your heart in ways you might never have imagined. Have you ever felt like you were carrying the world on your shoulders, trying to meet expectations that no one even asked of you? I know I have. For much of my life, I believed I had to be everything to everyone. The perfect father, the tireless worker, the strong one who never needed help. Even after retiring, I caught myself setting new expectations. I thought I had to be the grandparent who always showed up, the neighbor who always lent a hand, the wise elder who always had the right advice. The truth is, no one asked me to carry all that. I did it to myself. One afternoon, my granddaughter came to visit. She was painting a picture and asked me what I thought. Before I could think, I started pointing out little ways she could improve it. She looked up at me, her big, trusting eyes clouding with disappointment. In that moment, it hit me. I wasn't helping. I was projecting my own expectations onto her. I was weighing her down with perfectionism the same way I had weighed myself down for years. I apologized. We laughed it off. But that moment stuck with me. It made me realize how easy it is to turn expectations into heavy burdens, not just for ourselves, but for the people we love. Expectations are tricky things. We set them to give ourselves direction, to feel safe, to feel in control. But too often, they become invisible chains that keep us from enjoying the life we have. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't have to meet every demand to be valuable. You don't have to have all the answers to be wise. Before we continue, if this message is opening a door in your heart, please like this video and subscribe to GlowingAge. Your support helps us spread hope and encouragement to so many others who need it. Now, back to what truly matters. Letting go of unrealistic expectations doesn't mean giving up on yourself. It means loving yourself enough to be real, to be human, to be free. It means accepting that it's okay to rest. It's okay to say no. It's okay to be proud of small steps, not just big achievements. One of the most freeing things I ever did was redefine success. Instead of asking, did I get everything done perfectly today? I started asking, did I show up with love today? Did I share kindness? Did I listen? Did I laugh? Those are the things that truly matter at the end of the day. Those are the things people will remember. And when I stopped demanding perfection from myself, I found that I stopped demanding it from others too. Relationships grew easier. Conversations grew richer. My own heart grew lighter. If you're carrying expectations that make you feel heavy, burdened, or not good enough, I want you to know you can set them down. You are enough just as you are. You are loved even on your imperfect days. You are worthy of joy, peace, and rest. These days, when I see my granddaughter painting, I just watch. I tell her how much I love the colors she chooses, the joy she puts on the page. I marvel at her creativity without trying to mold it. And in doing that, I give her and myself the gift of freedom. Stay with me, because next, we'll talk about one more burden that many of us carry without even realizing it. It's something that steals happiness right from under our noses. And learning to release it will open the door to even greater peace. Have you ever caught yourself looking at someone else's life and feeling a little twinge inside? Maybe it was someone who seemed healthier, wealthier, or just plain luckier. I'll be honest with you, I have. There were times when I would sit at the park, watching couples stroll hand in hand, young folks jogging effortlessly by, and I'd feel a small ache in my heart. A whisper that said, "Why not me? Why didn't my path look like that?" Comparison is a thief, a silent one. It sneaks in when you're not looking and steals your gratitude, your joy, your sense of enoughness. It took me many years to realize that when we compare our lives to others, we're comparing our behind the scenes to their highlight reel. We see their smiles, their successes, their good days, but we don't see their struggles, their fears, their private battles. Everyone has burdens they carry silently. I remember attending a reunion once, seeing old friends who seemed to have everything, perfect families, bigger homes, exciting travels. I smiled and clapped and cheered for them, but deep inside, I felt small. Later that night, I sat on my porch, the stars stretched out above me, and asked myself, what am I really measuring? Why am I letting someone else's journey diminish the beauty of my own? And slowly, I began to shift. Instead of focusing on what others had, I started focusing on what I was blessed with. A family who loved me, memories rich with laughter and lessons. A body that, while slower now, still carried me through each day. Friends who stayed through every season of life. When I turned my eyes back to my own path, I found treasures I had overlooked in my rush to measure up. If you find yourself trapped by comparison, I want you to know this. Your journey is yours alone, and it is sacred. You have survived storms others never saw. You have built dreams others never understood. You have grown roots that no one else can see. Before we continue, if this message is speaking to your heart, please like this video and subscribe to GlowingAge. Your support helps us share light and wisdom with others who are walking this beautiful, complicated path of life. Now let's get back to the heart of it. Comparison blinds us to the miracles unfolding in our own lives. It tricks us into thinking we're behind when in reality we are exactly where we need to be. And envy poisons the spirit. It tells us there's not enough to go around. But the truth is, someone else's blessing doesn't diminish your own. Joy isn't a limited pie. There's more than enough for all of us. Gratitude is the cure. When you feel comparison creeping in, pause, look around. Name 3 things you are grateful for right now, big or small. A warm cup of tea, a call from a friend, the sun setting in a blaze of color. The more you notice the goodness already present, the less space there is for envy to take root. These days, when I see others succeeding, I celebrate them. Their light doesn't dim mine. It adds to the brightness of the world we all share. And when I celebrate my own blessings, no matter how ordinary they may seem, I find peace. Deep, lasting peace. You deserve that peace too. Your life doesn't have to look like anyone else's to be beautiful. It is beautiful because it is yours. Thank you for walking this journey of letting go with me. By releasing comparison and envy, you're making space for something far more precious, true, unshakable joy. Stay with me because in our next gathering, we'll explore even more ways to live lightly, fully, and free, embracing every golden moment that life has to offer. Life has a way of teaching us that the heaviest burdens aren't always the ones we can see. They're the invisible ones, regrets, grudges, fear, clutter, expectations, comparisons. And each time we choose to let go, we make space for something new, peace. I used to think peace was something that just happened to you when life got easy. But now I know that peace is something you choose day after day, no matter what life throws your way. Peace comes when you forgive yourself for the roads you didn't take. Peace comes when you forgive others, even when they never apologize. Peace comes when you welcome change instead of fighting it. Peace comes when you clear the clutter, both around you and inside you. Peace comes when you release yourself and others from impossible expectations. Peace comes when you stop measuring your life by someone else's standards. Peace isn't passive. It's active. It's a decision you make, a practice you live. One evening not long ago, I sat in my backyard, a soft breeze stirring the leaves, the sky brushed with the colors of a fading sun. I had no great accomplishments to boast of that day. No big plans for tomorrow, just a heart full of quiet, steady gratitude. And I realized in that small, ordinary moment that I was exactly where I was meant to be. This is the gift of letting go. Not just to lose the weight of the past, but to fully stand in the beauty of the present. Before we close, if these words have touched your heart, if this journey has brought you comfort or courage, please like this video and subscribe to Glowing Age. Your presence here means more than you know. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. We are walking it together, step by step, letting go of what no longer serves us and reaching for all the light and love still waiting for us. Every day is a new chance to live lighter, to love deeper, to find joy in the simple, sacred moments. Stay strong, stay wise, stay glowing. And until we meet again, may peace find you and stay with you always.